Not gonna lie, bro, this Bangkok skyline view behind me, it does something to me, bro. Like, I don't know, I just came from Bali 2 months sitting there in the villas, and the nice thing about Bali is it's very peaceful. You get a lot of sense of freedom, a lot of sense of achievement, but looking at the view here, and I'm gonna show you guys the actual killer view because this is not the best part. Looking at the view here, if we go onto the balcony, we check this shit out. This is fucking madness, bro. Like, I'm gonna be straight up with you guys. What I do right now is, like, as I wake up, go to the balcony and I look over the city, and bro, I'm just envisioning, like, imagine being a fucking emperor, having like the whole of Rome. You're standing on a big building, you're looking over Rome, looking at, like, I fucking run this shit. That's the type of manifest that just Bangkok gives me, and it's so different from Bali. And the feeling that you get out of that, bro, is fucking insane. Like, again, it just does something to you mentally. The hunger that you have, the level of motivation, it does something to you mentally that's insane. And it's the main reason how I got to the topic of this video, which is obsession. You know, obsession is such a fucking interesting term, right? Because, again, just like small things like a change of environment got me to think about, again, like, why am I so obsessed with the shit I do? What even is obsession in its core fundament? And that's what I want to talk with you watching right now today about. And just truly inspire you on that next level shit, like that true core to core purest form of inspiration. So obsession, what the fuck is obsession? Because we know the feeling of being obsessed in the small moments, but really obsession, in my experience, is something that's actually much more created than given, right? I feel like when I grew up, I lived in a sort of illusion. I don't know why that's my thought pattern, but I'm assuming it's been subconsciously programmed to us that some people are obsessed, some people are like a Donald Trump taking over a whole country, and most people are just meant to, you know, play their role, not have too many big dreams, and just stay stuck in that sort of like shy, incompetent type of mindset. But really, if I look at myself and look at my level of obsession, it's been much more of a building thing than I have it from the jump kind of thing. And so far, my main conclusion to what obsession fundamentally is that it's a mixture of your trauma. Every person has very unique traumas. Everybody been through personal shit that we don't like to talk about, combined with your environment and an actual mental framework from which you operate. Because the first thing that you need for obsession, and the main similarity that you can see from the outside if you're looking at somebody that's truly obsessed with what he does, is they have an extremely strong mental framework, core value and beliefs that no matter what, they would die for that belief, they would die for that habit. And it's like an extreme form of stubbornness where they won't tolerate anything outside of that belief. If you look at an athlete who's extremely obsessed with winning, there's one thing that he'll never ever dare to do, and that's skipping a training. Like, an athlete will go far and beyond not skipping a training. Even if he's injured, he wants to train. Even if he's sick, he wants to train. He's always gonna try and push himself to stick to that core value. And it's really the coach, if we're looking at a professional athlete, who's telling the athlete, yo, today, bro, you gotta chill in the training. It's never the athlete themselves being like, okay, today. No. An athlete wants to push. They're obsessed. They just want to fucking win. And it's the coach, and that's why they need a coach, to be like, yo, I'm looking from the outside, I'm gonna tell you right now, today, bro, you gotta chill on this, this, and this, right? It's really like you have the fire, which is most of the time bound to the trauma. You went through shit that got you to realize something, and now you wanna get this, right? Doesn't have to be a super fucked up trauma. It can be core level shit. Like, for me, I worked the most shit job that I've ever worked in my life. 3 weeks in construction, 12-hour days, 7 days a week for 3 weeks straight. I got paid like 2.7K for it. It was like a sort of project that I jumped into. It was my first real actual job experience. And in that meantime, I was failing my university classes. My parents were on my ass. I got essentially forced into this job by my mom. And that moment made me realize I'm absolutely worthless. The only value that I can provide here is my physical strength. Even though I have so much more to offer mentally, I'm essentially a slave, like, without exaggerating it. I was literally trading my time and my physical strength for some money so I can buy the shit that I need to buy, pay fucking rent. And that core fundament, that core trauma, was the fire for me to realize this is what I want. I want to live the life that I'm living right now. That's the crazy part about my story. Like, I'm not that crazy of an entrepreneur yet, but I'm living the life that I wanted to live back then, right now. Which means I'm traveling all the time. I work for nobody except for myself. I can take full responsibility, and I'm just free to do whatever the fuck I want to do. That was my dream, right? Now, once you have that fire, which most people have that fire to some degree, right? I believe that if you're over the age 18, you've probably had your share of traumas that you can get that fire out of. The problem is, either we try to avoid that trauma, not think about it, screen it off, or it's a fire that's uncontrolled. right? And you know what happens when a fire is uncontrolled? It burns the houses, it burns your hands, it burns everything down, which means that again, because you can't control the fire, you're gonna sort of mask away from it, not look at it, pretend like it doesn't exist, and you're not really using any of the fuel that you actually have to your capability. To control that fire, you need a mental framework. You need to identify things that no matter what happens, you're not gonna give up on. Which if your core fundament right now is I wanna make a lot of money, I wanna have a sense of freedom, I wanna live this, and this, then that main non-negotiable is gonna be on work, and it's gonna be on simply not giving up, while at the same time you're having this obsessive mind, this obsessive, I'm not gonna stop working, I'm not gonna give up. Keep the mental clarity, the mental objectiveness to also be able to look at your work consistently and reflect, right? If you're just gonna work without being able to reflect and sometimes admit, yo, I did this wrong, I did this wrong, I did this wrong, you're gonna burn out your fire because you're gonna spend hours and hours and hours and hours into shit that doesn't work, and you don't learn from your mistakes. You don't use the data that you're getting to realize what I'm doing right now has specific limitations that I need to solve, because if I don't, I'm not gonna make money, or I'm not gonna make more money, and I'm not gonna make enough money to actually get out. So a mental framework is the second thing you need, right? And this is all happening in yourself. You can write this down, you can do this, but this needs to be something you do alone. Your friends can help. If you have entrepreneurial friends, they'll be able to help you with being that reflective eye, that objective part of your mind. But the fundamental framework you have to build yourself. And the reason why not anybody else can do that for you is because when you start living by somebody else's framework, you're gonna follow their incentive. And bro, I don't care how much your friends or your family or your girlfriend loves you, but every single person moves out of their best incentive. They move out of what they want out of life. And if you're gonna follow somebody else's framework, or you let somebody else decide for you how you're gonna format your framework, then you're letting them decide. You're walking in their incentive and not in your own deeply rooted desire. So you're really not touching the core fundament of this idea we call obsession. So mental framework, you need that. Write it out, think about it for yourself. In terms of work, for me, there's just a bunch of non-negotiables that I put down for myself where I know, okay, I'm happy with how it's going. If I'm not happy, it means shit gotta change, right? I'm happy with how things are going. It's based on a couple things. Results being one of them. Enjoyment being another big factor. I need to really enjoy my work. It's one of the most important things for me. And then also knowing that I'm doing a lot of shit that I don't enjoy, because I need to do something that's in line with what I want to do, something that makes me feel happy, that makes me fulfilled and I enjoy doing. But in that journey, I need to do shit that I don't enjoy, because I know if I'm only doing shit that I like, I'm definitely gonna walk against some problems. You know, I'm practically guaranteed to fuck up at some point, because absolute reality is never like that. You're never only doing things you enjoy. So that's my sort of outside mental framework. I'm not gonna give you guys all the sauce. That's between me and me, bro. Final thing you need is environment. What I've seen is I can have the best mental framework, but if I'm around people that constantly push their framework onto me, constantly try and pull me out my framework, which is very easy. Like, the mind is fluid as fuck. You can feel happy one day, sad one day, depressed one day, motivated one day. It's constantly going everywhere. Your emotions and your mind and your body, they're not working in your fucking favor most of the time. So environment can shape and can make or break. That's what I meant when I started this intro off, like looking over the balcony, just seeing this fucking skyline, seeing these huge buildings, it just does something to you, bro. And I haven't been to Dubai just yet myself. I wanted to go, but you know, there's all these bombings going on, whatever. I think that's really what it means when people say like Dubai has something. You hear all these entrepreneurs say, yeah, Dubai is like the place to be. I think the main reason for it is just that feeling of concurrence, taking the fuck over. Use environment to your advantage. Again, the main thing that I see for myself with the traveling is that with the traveling, every environment has its own benefits and its own downsides. And if you're able to magically use that and set timelines for yourself, you're living in a fucking constant movie, bro. A constant movie that keeps going, where every day you wake up and now I'm looking over the fucking city. In 7 days I'm gonna be back on a tropical island. Then I might want to go to somewhere else. I've been to Japan recently, which is a whole different world. You live in a constant movie, and it's the framework to keep the flame burning, to fuel the flame further and create almost like a circle moment, right? Where this inner desire gets fed by the results and you're able to consistently satisfy yourself. Now, I made an earlier video which went pretty viral on YouTube too about the whole gratitude side of things. I'm not gonna get into that this video because I'll just be repeating myself. But in summary, there's obviously also a very important stake into having gratitude for everything you got, right? If you're not grateful for all of this, then the fire is still gonna burn itself out because you're not adding any fuel. If you think money is everything and you finally get to the money, what's gonna happen? You feel fulfilled. You feel like there's nothing else to live for because you got your goal and you still get lazy, stuff like that. So gratitude is another important aspect to this. Don't forget that. But again, this video is purely about that first wheel of obsession. How do we get that wheel flowing? How do we get that consistent day in, day out sharpness that you see with those obsessed people. I think this video is gonna help you get a better understanding of that. But again, you guys be the judge of that. Let me know what you thought about this. And always, always, always stick to what you believe, stay focused, work hard, and I'll see you very soon. Peace.